Hello, hello. Welcome to Turbotov, and today we are on in a different kind of video. Usually, I'll talk about racing or some type of racing game, but this game specifically, Art of Rally, I needed to say a couple of things related to it. First, I am in the credits of the game. I help with the localization, or translating and localizing the game for Latin American countries. So yeah, I am also as a driver in the game. So if you see me, say hello. But what I wanted to talk about is how this game should be enjoyed. And I'm not talking about like driving tips or necessarily how you should brake, with which assist you should start. This game is not particularly beginner friendly. It is pretty hard, or that's what I've seen from many people. But I wanted to talk about the philosophy of the game, not about how the developers made the game, but rather how the player should approach the stages. What is the best way or the best point of view to get as much as you can from this beautiful experience? That's what we're going to talk about today. As with any racing game or competitive game, Art of Rally has that competitive aspect. In career mode, you're competing against AI, and you have to complete the stages faster than they do, so that you win and get to the next year or season, and you get to drive the faster cars and the tougher stages, and you slowly advance through the years by being faster. In free play, or if you just want to go into the time attacks, um, you have to be fast. Throughout the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to get a world record, and I got pretty close on on how do you say this, Mount Akagi in Japan. And that stage I tried with Mazda RX-7, a Group S car, you know, the experimental cars that were supposed to be a Group B successors, but we never saw them racing in real life. But what I'm trying to say is, although I got pretty close to that world record, I got to a top 20 or top 25, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I was pushing myself really hard. Although that's not bad. I mean, if you're trying to go for records, if you're trying to compete, you have to push, you have to practice. Many times you have to learn the stage, and that's a great part of the game. Like just going and competing and trying to get better at just one stage with one particular car. That's amazing. But I think most people will not enjoy that, or will not enjoy the game as a whole if they just dedicate to being faster, or even being faster than the AI. I think that this game should be treated like, or it should be seen as an opportunity to crash, to learn, and to get to a point where you're just flowing through the stages. It's all about flow. I'm not saying you're going to get a world record just by uh, chilling out, but you're definitely going to enjoy the game a lot more. You're definitely going to appreciate not only the aesthetics, which are amazing, most people agree on that, but you're going to enjoy the feeling of taking those corners, going through chicanes, going through jumps, driving in different weather conditions, and many of the aspects that only this type of game can emulate. Of course, this is what real drivers went through, or what you feel when you're driving a real car through these types of roads. But that's what I'm trying to say. I wanted to make a parallel between the game and a book I recently read called Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. This novel is based around a man who leaves his like his home, where his father is like this Buddhist priest, and everyone that admires him. But he leaves trying to learn new things, trying to find teachers, and he goes through many like stages throughout his life. He meets many teachers, many mentors that show him different ways of living life, but none of them leave him satisfied. None of them, all of them give valuable advice. There's like this girl that teaches him how to love, and these other people who teach him how to fast and how to control your body and your desires. But at the end of the day, none of those teachers gave him what he wanted. He wanted to be wise. He wanted to be enlightened. And not to spoil the book if you haven't read it, but the only way for him to find that enlightenment is through a river. And the river is an analogy to life. Like you have to throw yourself into the river to learn, to grow as a person, to be enlightened. You can learn things from other people. You can get knowledge from teachers. I can tell you how to drive a certain stage. I can tell you when to brake or give you general tips on how to get better at the game. But just as life, this game is supposed to be like this opportunity to not only discover yourself through driving, it's something, car guys love, but also to just achieve that flow through the stages. And that flow is not achieved by getting the faster times and necessarily being the fastest around corners, but rather just you'll feel it. I know it's hard to explain, but you'll feel it. You feel when you get to that point where you're just flowing. Of course, that flow can be lost at any time. Here I'll show you when I faced my demise, when I went into the shadow realm. But even though you can lose that flow at any moment, you have to consider two things. Driving, or well, driving fast, trying to get the aforementioned flow, is basically an optimization problem. And I know I'm combining words and terms that I don't know very well, but you basically have to optimize how much you can risk versus how fast can you get. And there's a limit, there's a boundary that sooner or later, if you keep pushing, if you keep trying to, maintain that flow, you're going to reach it. And it's normal. That's part of the beauty of the game. Actually, recovering the car is pretty satisfying. That's also part of the stage, that's part of the journey. Crashing, drifting, making a 180 and finishing the stage, just like I did here. That's part of the whole game, and that's how it should be seen. So next time you fire up Art of Rally, just focus on the music, focus on your driving. If you want to go for stage records, feel free to do it. I mean, the leaderboards are there. But remember to enjoy the game. When you're tired after a hard day at work, just fire up the game and remember that your job is to find that flow, and you'll know when you find it. Hope you enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe, and as always, next Tuesday there will be an iRacing highlights video, and I also have a few ideas for similar videos with other games. I'm trying to improve. I hope to get better with every video I upload, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.